Welcome to Without a Candle. We are your hosts,
Hey guys, I'm Carla.
and I'm Carly. Let's just jump on in, shall we? Today we are here with Miss Kristie. She is one of our newest practitioners, and we met kind of just
Odd timing,
odd
huh?
timing
Yeah.
and fate kind of just made it happen. She booked a service, had come in only a few times, and then in conversation after, we learned that she's been doing things that we've been seeking for a
Yeah.
while.
So if I recall correctly, I was on my way out the door.
Yeah,
I heard you mention to Carly while you were checking out,
yeah.
that you're a massage therapist, and then my head did some kind of weird swivel thing, and I'm like, does that include craniosacral or reflexology? And Chrissy's like, yeah. So I did a little happy dance, and my day was made. And so yeah, here we are. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. So, go ahead, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you, your business, what you do, what the hell Craniosacral is.
Right? Okay. So I'm Kristie. I've been a massage therapist for almost 15 years now.
That's awesome.
About 5 years yoga teacher. I don't really use that as much.
Right.
It was more for me and homework for clients. And
Yeah.
then recently into breath work
Okay.
facilitation, and I'll finish that course up next month.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Kind of transitioning more from traditional massage Swedish, more into offering those modalities kind of combined and more using the craniosacral, reflexology, acupressure, fascia work. Even though those are separate modalities,
Right.
I feel like they kind of
They
intermingle
Yeah.
and marinate and work well together. And the way I kind of explain those modalities to people are you get on the massage table and you're like, take a nice breath and you feel relaxed. And then as we start working, it's kind of like, oh, there's another like level I can kind of relax and go a little further. And it kind of, for me, it kind of does that
Okay.
throughout the session.
Nice.
And you kind of reach this place of like, oh, yeah, I didn't know I could get there. Or, just.
Absolutely. I'm not
Yeah.
good with the verbiage and the lingo, because I also did yoga training as well. But it's there's a level of bliss that the Hinduism
Yes.
culture kind of talks about, or religion talks about. And I hesitate to use the word wow. Apparently I really hesitate. Ecstasy, because it's linked to some drug use as well. But it truly is that deeper level of just almost nothingness and pure bliss and pure energy. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah.
So, as you transition, start like marrying all of these modalities into like a one session.
For me, it's more about kind of talking with the client to see what they want to focus on, what their experiences have been in the past, where they want to go. So I'm kind of transitioning to more clothed work, so that can allow for movement during the session if they want. I feel like if they're clothed, they may be more willing to move and stretch and do what they need. I feel like the music is a little more. It kind of starts like massage music, but kind of ramps up a little bit to kind of help people to process and move and kind of journey throughout. I feel like the touch I do is more still work, more supportive with the cranium, the acupressure, just kind of helping people either ground or certain areas if they're holding tension, just kind of focusing on those areas. And then also just letting them kind of integrate towards the end of the session, just taking whatever's come up during that session and just kind of either journaling or just reflecting at the end of the session. Also during the session, normal massage, you're kind of quiet depending on the client, but this is more, I may introduce some prompts or maybe ask some questions just for the person to kind of self-reflect on too.
Cool.
So I feel like it's kind of taken all those.
So I heard a couple things because you had mentioned, the light touch or the touch and kind of the stillness of that versus consistent flow and movement. Stillness. So the thing I heard was that stillness allows awareness.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah. I think sometimes we get so busy in life, like my neck hurts, but you never really stop and think, well, why? Why is that area? Yeah. Mhm.
Did you start your spiritual practice as you started your professional, or was it at the same time, or did you already have a spiritual practice before you got into your professional work?
I didn't really have a spiritual practice per se. Massage kind of kicked it off.
Okay.
I kind of went into massage school thinking that I was going to do more like sports related stuff or, that kind of stuff. And the very first course I took, at some point during that course, our teacher, who is a Reiki master, she just let us all get on the table and she kind of explained energy work a little bit. And from that moment, I felt something in my whole, it was like just, it changed. It's like,
Yeah.
Did you go to Lexington Healing Arts?
no, I went there for yoga. For massage, I went to Cumberland Institute, which is in Tennessee. But yeah, that first introduction to energy work kind of got me, and from there it kind of led to meditation, and then yoga, and then just on my own healing journey. Yeah, all these classes kind of.
Do you want to share where you're at?
Sure. It took me many years to realize that a to-do list for self-care does not work for me. It took me many years to realize when people say it's a practice for that to kick in and realize what that
What
is.
that meant. Yeah.
So I really like that all these things that I've learned, it's kind of like a toolbox for me. I figure out what works in my most days for me, and I have that practice. But I also have tools to where when your day just goes to shit, that you can fall back on some things.
Yeah.
And as seasons change, as life changes happen, I'm also constantly reevaluating and figuring out what'll work for me.
Okay.
So like now, right now, with the days getting shorter, it's more like getting up. I'll usually do like just breath work if I can before I even get out of bed. I'll just do like maybe 2 or 3 just awareness breaths. And then with my coffee, I'll either listen to like a meditation or podcast, or I will journal.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Just something simple. And then in the evening, I try, not every evening, but most evenings, I'll like pick one song and just get down on the floor and just do some stretching or yoga, something like that. A lot of times I find if I make it through one song, I'm kind of just like, keep going. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good time to
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
And then sometimes it is just the one song. I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah. So just one song.
Just one song.
One song that could be 3 to 5 minutes, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
And not giving it in like literally anywhere.
Yes.
I like the sock concept a lot because we tell people all the time, like, if you're trying to form a habit with mindfulness or form a habit around a practice, start by leaving your phone outside of the bathroom when you go and be mindful of those moments. You're still hanging there like what, 30 seconds?
Unless you're on your phone.
So
probably the longest habit that I've kept is when I brush my teeth, I do tree pose.
Okay.
I've been doing that for probably 6 years, probably.
Nice.
It's just like one of those things that's kind of automatic. Yeah. It's just like, just,
I like that.
Yeah. So little things like that, I'm like, that's what a practice is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The weaving of all the things that, and a lot of it's like common things, right? And it's not supposed to be hard.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be difficult. Yeah. So,
do you have any questions?
No, I'm just ready for my session. So craniosacral to me, I have heard it, and this is one of those things, like even this may get edited out because I may have some misinformation. So what I understand about craniosacral is that it is a different fluid, right, that our body encompasses that surrounds our brain and our spinal cord. Am I right so far? And it has its own rhythm. I hesitate to use the word pulse, but I have found that sometimes, and I'm not a practitioner, it's on my list, right? But until then, we have Kristie. So, but I have found in Reiki, I can often feel that, even though I'm not feeling for that, and I can tell where it stops for someone. Well, where the energy stops for someone, and so energetically, I can sense where there may be a blockage. Does that make any sense at all?
It does.
Okay, but now you find that rhythm or pulse, however you want to word it, throughout the whole body, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it's easier for certain people in different areas to. For me, when I find that rhythm, for me, I can tell if it's either like really stagnant or if it's really rapid.
Yes.
That's kind of how I feel it.
Okay.
So we kind of want it to just
Yes.
flow a little more gently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ebb and flow.
So what's the purpose for
Uh,
those that don't know?
For craniosacral, the way I was introduced and explained to it from the beginning, is more like a reset. It's more like if you have your phone, if you have a bunch of apps open, a bunch of web pages, sometimes you kind of have to shut those down and let it reset.
Yes.
So craniosacral in that way is like that. It's kind of a getting to the still point that you allow yourself to stop and allow your own intellect, your own inner healer to kick in and just reestablish that connection and flow.
And occasionally, intuitively, you can kind of tell what's going on with the body based on that rhythm or that pulse or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So, do you remember the first time you had that, like, I think this is linked to this? Do you remember that?
I do.
Okay.
And like I said before, how craniosacral, acupressure, Reiki, those kind of, as I'm doing work, they kind of, they're a little bit different, but they also are similar for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it was that first energy introduction. I felt something really strong. I didn't know what it was. But it wasn't till I started receiving receiving Reiki, craniosacral, that I was really able to kind of put it together.
Oh wow.
I had to kind of understand it for me before I could put it out there.
But I love how they all like just mesh together.
Yeah.
And that energy is energy, right?
Yes.
I mean, I feel like we could completely nerd out.
I know.
Things like the mind score or the emotion code therapy. Like, I think we could just.
I know.
Yeah, and that's why I'm excited to receive. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But it's tricky because I feel like whether. And I appreciate like all the modalities, right? But I feel like whether it's Reiki from any of us or craniosacral, the energy is energy, and the practice is the practice, right? She's fine. It's fine.
No, that got picked up.
Oh, just kidding. Okay, it's fine. We're restocking stuff outside, so if you heard that, it's okay. Everything's fine. No one's hurt. So that things surface and they pan out. But some people just need the different modalities. It's kind of one of those concepts about meeting people where they are. So if they can't yet conceive the concept of Reiki, for example, but they can understand fascia because that is a physical part of our body, then they can receive healing that way. Exactly. But if they're ready to incorporate the energy work, then Reiki or whatever other energy modality will help or could help with some of those very same issues.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
It's just about, so I'm excited.
Yeah. Good.
Anyway, what else? Do you have a favorite reflection, like a favorite aha moment, either giving or receiving?
I've had a few. I'm not a big crier. I've never been a big crier. But a friend that I went to massage school with, we were in the craniosacral class together. And then one day we finally paired up. Working there. I was actually working on her. And it was like we both started crying at the same time. And afterwards, when we talked about that, it was about totally different things. Her story, my story, it was totally different things. But it was like there was just this moment that we just both started crying, and it was like beautiful. It was a beautiful cry.
Right.
It was more like a happy cry.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful. It was. Yeah, it was. And we're still friends.
Okay.
We take a lot of classes still today together. So yeah.
So the release is important.
Mhm.
And in that moment, you were able to be a witness.
Mhm.
And then you were also able to let someone else be a witness for you
Mhm.
that happened.
Mhm.
So I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't normally involve myself when I'm
Mhm.
giving. It's just that just kind of happened that day because she was such a good friend and
Mhm.
something.
And that was
something-
early on.
It was early.
So,
on,
and that
yeah.
was before you had learned some of those muscles.
Yeah, I don't
that-
cry during
Yeah.
giving.
Well, and that's a
Technically,
form of self-protection,
Exactly.
right? Is that, you're leaving what is there.
And our
It's not-
instructors were great instructors, and I knew that we were both safe in that moment to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
But it was a moment I think I needed to have. Yeah.
So what, okay. At what moment? There's got to be a specific story, and you don't have to share, but I'm just feeling that there was some time there of doubt. At what moment were you like, I've got this, or I can't do this, or I am meant for this?
I have to think on that one. That's a good question because it kind of comes and
And it
goes.
could have been that moment,
I
right?
think it might have been that moment because I don't know if there was one single moment or if it was feedback and me receiving work. And for me receiving work, knowing that I can receive the same session from two different people, but have different reactions or different responses.
Mhm.
So I think that is some of the moments that helped me be like, okay, I'm not for everybody, and that's okay.
Right.
But the people that do connect with me, this is wonderful work.
And it could be that it's something you're not for everyone, right?
Right.
Goodness gracious. Um, it's kind of hard to explain the way I can see it, right?
Mhm.
Is in that day with that person, you may not have been for that person that day,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
But a week from now, after someone else has ripped off a band-aid,
Exactly.
maybe you can be that person, right?
Exactly.
Because we go through so much day to day, and so do they. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Well, you said something else. You said it comes and goes, and I think I know what you meant, but I wanted to ask um, for you to clarify that.
Um, yeah, you get feedback after sessions, and I don't expect to fix anybody yet.
Right.
When somebody finishes a session and they say, "Oh, that was a great experience," or they go into detail about what happened,
Yeah.
it does kind of help you. And then you have moments where, for instance, craniosacral is more still work.
Mhm.
And even though I've trained, and it does take a lot of day to day preparation and my spiritual practice to be able to do these sessions, sometimes in the moment, I'm like, I'm just sitting here. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm not really doing anything.
Yeah.
So
Right.
sometimes in those moments, it's
Some of the feedback from that though is some people were like, that was the best session of my life.
I know.
Because I wasn't actively trying, right? I was just
Exactly.
being a human vessel for energy to flow. So initially, I perceived that as it comes and goes with the, so that was the practice side. But then mentally, emotionally, we get tired too.
Oh, yes.
And then there's days where we may have appointments or we may have sessions and we kind of don't want to.
Mhm.
Or I know I'm saying that out loud, so don't, right?
Yeah.
But it happens, right?
Mhm.
And then you have this amazing session, and you get this amazing feedback. And I'm like, shit. That's why I'm doing the thing. Like that's why I'm here doing the things, right? So that was
Yeah, I have those days
Yeah.
where it's like you wake up with like maybe a headache or something. And you're like,
Mhm.
oh, I don't want to.
Yeah.
And you come, and as soon as you start, it's like your aches and
Mhm.
worries, and it just like dissolves.
Because as you give, you receive.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Like, even though someone may not be physically touching us,
Yes.
right?
Right. Yeah.
Being that conduit, we get to receive every time we give. So
Exactly.
that's a good reminder. So I appreciate you sharing that moment of like, we're all in this together, right? Like we all have these days. But long term, well, I mean, it shouldn't be a long term goal for me anymore. But what we're hoping to create here, no, what we are creating here is more of a structure with the clients and with practitioners that if I have that day, I'll be like, hey, Kristie, hey, Carly, do you guys want to like do these services today? So, and then maybe do a service on me too, right? More of a clinic style. That way, no matter who walks in the door, that there's always someone here at service. Uh, so that's the goal. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, and that's a growing point too, because once upon a time, I felt that I had to be the one to take care of everybody. Like, no, Carly can take care of you today. Kristie can take care of you today. If it's a foot bath, Jill can take care of you or Jamisa, right? Like, I don't have to be the one taking care of you. And that's kind of what has allowed me to not push so hard about doing massage school. Does that make sense?
it does.
'Cause I'm like, no, while Kristie's here, Kristie can take care of that, right? So I'm excited.
Yes, yeah.
So you mentioned that you are finishing up your breathwork facilitator training, and you want to chat about that a little bit? Because
Sure.
I feel like people have an idea of what breathwork is, but don't really grasp the concept of it and how powerful it can be just in day-to-day life. So, yeah.
Well, I kind of go back to yoga training. We did learn a lot of different breathwork techniques, like box breathing, the bee breath, just different things you can use. The breathwork training that I'm taking now is very specific. It's a very specific modality. It's more of a conscious connected breath. It's open mouth with no pause.
Okay.
And what that does is it allows your prefrontal cortex, which is mainly for making decisions, rationalizing those things. It allows that to kind of quiet down a little bit.
What?
I know. It's kind of like, it's kind of like a runner's high without having to run.
Okay.
So it helps that quiet down. So you can kind of find this place. I know we don't want to use the word ecstasy or bliss, but it allows you to quiet down.
Yeah.
The music helps you to kind of ramp up a little bit. Sometimes people want to move or unwind. Sometimes people have emotions. Sometimes people just kind of simply journey. But there are some elements. There's the music. There's supportive touch. There's also, like I say, prompt or open-ended questions so that people can kind of reflect during the session and after.
I don't know if you saw me, like, my wheels spinning, but I was trying to figure out how to do breath work without closing my mouth. I know that sounds weird, but I was like,
well,
how did you see?
In a session, you're kind of at the beginning, you're guided into it. It's not like just boom, you do it.
Right.
You're kind of guided into it slowly. And it's, do y'all know what a bellow is? Like to start a fire, pump the air in. It's kind of like that. It's to get you started. You're not going to do it the whole 45 minutes. You'll kind of do it to get you kind of activated. To kind of quiet that prefrontal cortex so you can
and then you're guided into like other breaths.
Well, it's that one breath. Once you kind of get into it and kind of find what's going on with you that day, like I say, I may prompt you for some open-ended questions just to let you reflect. And if it feels like you're maybe starting to like just get out of it, I may have you do that breath again just to kind of get
start the fire back up.
Fire started back
Gotcha.
up. So,
I like it.
Me
So
too.
now, is that something that is always one-on-one, or is that something that can be in a group?
It can be in a group. Right now, since I'm still kind of learning, I'm a little more comfortable with one-on-one, but I would like to start doing some group sessions. I know.
The reason why we both got super excited is groups are a nice, easy way for people to see kind of like what the hell is it about.
Yes.
And then you can lean in and teach others that now on a more individual basis, this is amplified. Does that make sense?
It does.
So it's kind of like with the meditations for QHHT, like it's just enough to let people see that they can reflect. Daydream was the word that came to mind, but I really want to use daydream, but it kind of that, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then they can do a full session.
And some people are more comfortable in groups. I know sometimes For me, I've done this work solo, and then we've also do it in classes in groups, and I get a different experience each time.
Yeah.
Sometimes in groups, also with other people sharing, sometimes people will phrase things in a way that I'm like, I never thought of it that way. So I feel like groups
The
definitely,
reflection.
yeah, definitely have advantages that solo doesn't have, and vice versa.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's
So I like
awesome.
both. Yeah, I like both. Okay.
So I know these are, we shared with you that these are pre-recorded to be scheduled later. But when does that training for the breathwork facilitator, when does that finish for you?
It finishes in December, so in the next 3 weeks, I think I'll be done.
So hypothetically, by the time this airs, so people are listening later, they can assume that you finished and that you're offering that service.
Yes,
here.
exactly.
And maybe even that's on the calendar for a group session in 2026. Just saying.
We are
Yes.
talking about
Yeah.
We are. Yeah.
I know. I'm excited.
Jobs. Yeah.
Man. So this is just another reminder of like things that come about for the collective because one of us wanted it. Right.
Right.
Yeah. I love that so
Yeah.
much. Thank you. I don't always deliver the invitation well. So in that moment of like me being like, whoa. So anything else you think someone needs to know about your practices, your services?
I hope that I can be supportive without fixing. It's never my intent to fix someone. It's more to just be there to be supportive, and whatever you need that day will happen.
You'll be a tool.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So, my final question is for people that are on a spiritual journey, whether they are just starting or been on it for a while, how do you feel like your practices can help people get through their stuff or be able to incorporate in a mindful way that can be a habit of some sort that could help them get to the next level of like where they need to be?
I think that everyone has their own journey. I know for me, big has never been my thing. I'm more of like taking small steps. And if I look back when I started massage school, there's one class that I took, but part of that class was speaking about the modality, speaking to the client. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. And here I am doing it and talking to clients while they're on a massage table. I'm like, that is huge.
Yeah.
So it didn't happen overnight. It happened over, 10 plus years. Yeah. So hopefully clients will be like, this one habit can make a change.
There's several things that I'm like, I'm not doing that.
I know.
And it's like the universe is telling you to be like, bet. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah.
That's how I kind of feel with like what I've been getting into the last couple of months, because starting the year, going into the summer, and even starting fall, I would have never ever considered a kosher record sport even break into it here. And so kind of like the universe is like bet and gives me small things like I'm still kind of on the fence with the tuning forks. Like, really, is this for me? So every night I've been like looking at other stuff. The more and more I look at the little habits, the more and more I'm like, yep, that sure does a lot.
And I think with that, it's going to be about just getting a couple clients in here for practice. Right. So I know this is straying off a little bit, but when I just did the stonework this weekend, I'm like, I just need to know how this session looks. Right. Like I can plan, using like distance Reiki, I can plan and visualize and do all these things, but how does it look in like real life, So, so just,
I can't remember if it was a quote or someone said it to me. I apologize if it's a quote. But I've heard before, like, you don't know who you are until you figure out who you aren't.
Yeah.
So trying things and figuring out they don't work for me is okay too.
Right.
Not everything
Yeah.
Not every class I took has been stuck and been like gung ho about this. Yeah.
So that means that every modality isn't going to be for everybody.
Exactly.
And every service isn't going to be for everybody. But give it a chance. You don't know until you do.
Do it.
Yeah. So if you still can't grasp what craniosacral is, or reflexology is, or acupressure, acupuncture, or stress therapy, or whatever it is, give it a try. And what's an investment?
Yeah.
And, you know,
And I almost always recommend that someone try something 3 times, right? The first time you're getting used to the space and the person and what it's like to be on a table or in the floor, or however the service is performed. And then the second time you can kind of let your guard down and appreciate.
was that thunder? Because that sounded like thunder.
It sounded like it was on fire. So nothing's on fire.
It just sounded like a rattle.
So knowing that nothing's on fire.
This podcast is fun today.
It is.
It literally sounded like a huge crack of thunder to me in this.
My always is like the furnace is right there.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Okay.
But so try 3 times. The first time you're getting used to the time and space and that kind of stuff, and the practitioner, and someone being in your space. And then the second time, I feel like you get a more idea of like what it really is like. And by the third time, you can jump into your session pretty quickly. Another practitioner uses the phrase dropping into your session. And so you get more out of your session. Does that make sense? So, and every practitioner is different, but going into your session today, by the time I get on the table and then you go wash your hands and I start my breath work, by the time you get back, because it is a practice for me now, like I'm ready. Like I'm, all walls are down and that kind of stuff. So I'm excited. And I'm excited for people to like take those chances, not for us, but for you.
Right.
How many people do we see that we know are missing out on things?
All the time.
So how do you deal with that when you hear stories and you're like in your head and your heart, you're like, I can help you. I can't fix that. I can help you fix that. And then they just have no clue, or they're just not hearing you.
It's okay. Yeah, I'm sure that there were, when I think back to my 20s, 30s, I probably would have been the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, kind of what? Yeah, I mean, that's totally fine when you're ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've even had, I've had one instance where someone came in for a massage. We did the intake, kind of explained everything, asked if they had any questions. I was like, no, good. I was like, okay, I'll let you, get on the table, go wash my hands, I'll come back. I came back into the room and they were like, I can't do this. And that's fine. I was like, thank you for telling me. I would never want someone to lay there for 60 minutes and be uncomfortable. So yeah, I mean, even if you do make that step to come in and you get here and you're like, no, tell me. Yeah,
that's fine. It's time for conversation.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like what are you hesitant about?
Yeah,
what
exactly.
Are you unsure about? Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the shortest session that you are comfortable doing?
Shortest? I'll do 15-minute sessions. Okay. Yeah.
So just enough to get comfortable with.
Yeah.
Safe touch is so important.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like that's a lot of challenge with most Americans, is that there's so much damage and trauma and emotion related to unsafe touch, that's a really hard thing to overcome. And maybe not just unsafe touch, but we're all adults here, so we can even talk about how sometimes touch is expected, right? And expected to be allowed. And that's also
exactly.
So working past that can be really hard for some people.
Yeah. And that's another aspect of this breathwork training is to ask at the beginning of each session, are you okay with touch? And if you are, know that any time during the session you can change your mind.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of appreciate this work, that it's not just touch.
Yeah. And that goes back to some of our trauma-informed yoga pieces too. I don't know. In our classes we had these buttons and it was touch or don't touch. Exactly. Right? Yeah. I mean, not so much those harsh verbiage, but that kind of thing. So yeah.
Perfect. So
Nice.
tell us where people can connect with you and where to find you.
Oh gosh.
Other than here.
Here. I have a website, balancedfusion.net.
Okay.
Is the best place. I do have Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
But I don't monitor those like daily.
Okay. Okay.
So really the website has my phone number. Feel free to text or call if you have questions. That's the best way for me.
So we'll go ahead and link all of that in the show notes so
Mhm.
people can find you.
Okay.
And then when we had our mixer, we went ahead and scheduled you quarterly,
Mhm.
but can also be added more
Yeah.
as the year goes on. So watch the Facebook page. All the events are going to be on there. You guys know that. But outside of her equipment here, you can book with her outside as well. And then there could be opportunity if people um, couldn't get all the way up to you and you messaged us was like, hey,
Yeah.
do you have like this day open?
Exactly.
We, that's always open
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
So any final thoughts?
Just I'm glad I wandered.
Yeah. You could tell, but super excited.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay. Bye, guys. We'll see you when we see ya. Right, guys. So that wraps up another episode of Without a Candle with Carly and Carla. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.